Welcome, dear viewers of Mr. Magazine, to another chapter in the ever-twirling dance of love, art, and destiny that plays out under the golden lights of Turkish television. Today, our story unfurls like a slow-burning romance written not on paper, but in the language of glances, gestures, and, believe it or not, a single stroke of color. It is a tale that begins with Elçin Sangu and Barış Arduç, two names that once defined an era of laughter and longing, whose chemistry turned fiction into faith, and whose silence now speaks louder than any declaration could. So, before we dive into this shimmering narrative, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Mr. Magazine, and tap that join button if you believe that love, even in the glittering corridors of fame, still finds a way to whisper its truth. Now, let's drift together into this story of color, courage, and quiet confession. For years, Elçin Sangu and Barış Arduç have been two souls orbiting the same creative sun. Their pairing in the unforgettable romantic comedy Kırık Aşk, known worldwide as Rental Love, wasn't just a casting decision, it was alchemy. Their eyes met, their voices intertwined, and the Turkish television world found itself spellbound. It wasn't just acting. It was art that blurred the line between story and soul. Audiences saw in them something timeless, two characters so synchronized that their on-screen laughter felt genuine, their sorrow almost personal. And when the cameras stopped rolling, something unspoken lingered in the air. It was not love confirmed, nor love denied, but a mystery fans carried in their hearts like an unfinished melody. And then, on an ordinary evening, that melody found a new note. Elçin, known for her fiery auburn hair that had become almost synonymous with her presence, posted a selfie that was, at first glance, simple, no filters, no cinematic poses, just light and warmth. Yet there was something transformative about it. The hair that once burned like autumn had softened into a golden copper hue, glowing gently like the late afternoon sun. But it wasn't the color alone that set the internet ablaze, it was the caption. Sometimes love starts on the inside, not on the outside. I wanted to reflect that inner change with something visible. Dear Barış Arduç, I changed my hair color for you. I hope you like it. Within moments, digital silence turned to thunder. Screenshots cascaded across Instagram, Twitter, and celebrity blogs faster than wildfire through summer fields. Hashtags like #Elçin and Barış and #Kırık Aşk reunion trended across continents, from Istanbul's bustling neighborhoods to the cozy living rooms of Europe, where reruns of Kırık Aşk still fill the hearts of nostalgic fans. Some saw romance. Others saw artistry. Many saw both. For followers who had waited years for a sign that their favorite duo's connection transcended fiction, this was more than just a post, it was a message dressed in poetry. Stylists discussed undertones and highlights, but true fans read something deeper: vulnerability, affection, and a daring honesty rarely seen in the carefully curated world of celebrity life. And then, Barış responded. Not with grand speeches or interviews, but with subtlety, the kind that only deep souls understand. A black and white photograph appeared on his feed the next day, a coffee mug, a table scattered with scripts, and the caption, "A new chapter deserves new colors." No names, no explanations. Just meaning. And meaning, as fans know, is his favorite language. The internet, already smoldering, erupted. Did he just confirm it? Is this their way of telling us they're together? He noticed. He definitely noticed. Comment sections became digital campfires, where strangers bonded over shared speculation. YouTube edits resurfaced with titles like From Screen to Soul and When Fiction Turns to Truth. Old interviews were re-watched, dissected, and time-stamped for hidden hints, every smile, every hand gesture, every stolen glance suddenly reinterpreted through the lens of this revelation. And here at Mr. Magazine, we can't help but ask, what do you think, dear viewer? Was Elçin's gesture an artistic tribute or a love confession woven in gold and copper tones? Drop your thoughts below, because your voice shapes the heartbeat of this community. To understand why this single act resonates so deeply, one must look back nearly a decade. During the golden age of Karaoke, Elçin and Barış shared something beyond professional synergy. They rehearsed until dawn, encouraged each other through exhaustion, and exchanged quiet encouragements when cameras stopped rolling. Insiders recall laughter echoing across sets long after scenes had ended, a rhythm that didn't need choreography, it was simply theirs. Yet every time reporters asked the inevitable question, both would smile with the same composed grace and insist, "We're friends. We respect each other's work." Perhaps they were telling the truth. Or perhaps they were protecting something delicate, something that couldn't survive the glare of relentless public scrutiny. Over the years, that respectful distance became their signature. And still, fate found ways to reunite them, through shared events, friendly dinners, and late-night conversations that witnesses describe as full of warmth and familiarity. And now, this, an unguarded social media confession that rekindled 1,000 old hopes. In a culture of oversharing, Elçin's act feels almost radical. She didn't sell her story to glossy magazines or orchestrate a PR reveal. She simply spoke, directly, softly, from herself. And perhaps that's what struck such a universal chord. Her words weren't loud, but they were real. And realness, in the realm of curated celebrity personas, is a rarity worth celebrating. Barış's quiet echo of her sentiment, his coffee mug and minimalist caption, was the perfect counterpoint. Where she used warmth, he used restraint. Where she invited, he responded. It was dialogue without dialogue, poetry without punctuation. And for the fans of Mr. Magazine, this is the essence of what makes love stories endure, not their declarations, but their silences. In the days that followed, the Elçin shade became more than a hair color, it became a statement. Hair salons across Turkey reported an uptick in requests for that golden copper look, while beauty magazines called it the hue of heartfelt confession. Even Elçin's mother, when asked at a charity gala, called it beautiful and brave, saying her daughter deserved happiness after years of hard work. A former colleague of Barış, speaking quietly to the press, added, "He's always admired her naturalness. If she did it for him, I think he would understand its meaning more deeply than anyone." Meanwhile, the stars themselves remained calm amid the storm. No denials, no confirmations, just two artists letting the moment breathe, as if saying, some stories don't need explanations, they simply need to be felt. In the end, perhaps that is what draws us most to this tale. It's not just about two actors, it's about the echo of their characters, the continuation of a love story that once belonged to the screen but now drifts into real life like a dream refusing to fade. And so, the fans watch. They hope. They imagine that somewhere, beyond the reach of paparazzi and press releases, Elçin and Barış might be sharing coffee, laughter, and the quiet knowledge that sometimes, destiny begins where scripts end. Because love, real love, often reveals itself not in public declarations, but in whispered moments of sincerity. A caption. A color. A subtle response that says, "I see you too." Let us know in the comments below, your thoughts, your hopes, your theories. And if you love stories like this, filled with mystery, artistry, and emotion, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Mr. Magazine, and join our growing family of dreamers and believers. Because here, every story has a heartbeat, and every heartbeat tells us Love, in all its colors, never truly fades.